So we don't have so much, but in the little we have, we try to make sense out of it. We try to make something out of it to put smiles on the faces of our viewers and our critics. The magic we do is even beyond us, because I know sometimes when producers are done, they ask themselves how did it even happen? Because sincerely that hmm mm-mm, nah, I couldn't have done this, but it happened. So we just have some supernatural powers we are yet to discover.
That's great. You see, I've also listened to some people who have been very critique of the Nollywood film because maybe they are talking of quality and things like that. But I often say, well, if the question is quality, then quality is going to come with time. Because if we are expecting quality, maybe Nigeria will make one film. If you make one film, no matter how popular it is, it's not going to really stand up in the market. Because one doesn't really hold anything, no? But we are not talking of number, and what number does is that it leads to a lot of, because if we make one film, no matter how successful it will be, maybe it will employ 2 or 3 people. Okay, let's say we employ 50 people or 100 people, no? But Nollywood is employing millions of different things that are involved in it. So a lot of people, a lot of Nigerians are getting employment. People are now studying filmmaking. People are now becoming expert in audio. People are now beginning to become expert in script, in how to become a professional script writer, in how to tell story, how to stay in front of the camera and really do the magic. So all this really open up the Nigeria economy, at least in my own view, in very many ways that maybe producing one quality film will not be able to do. I don't know if you remember this film. Okay, we can call it film. I'm talking of actually audio narration, and that was happening then. Film like with the Kokori, Zebodiah. Do you remember
Yes,
those things?
yes.
So I'm looking at the power of narration now,
Mm.
so that irrespective of what people might complain about, might talk about in terms of quality and things like that, I want to believe that in Nigeria that this power of storytelling that is enshrined in the people. So what I'm really driving at is what is really moving the industry? Is it the story itself or the quality?
A good story will capture any audience, so it's the story that would keep you there. A lot of people are not concerned about technicality, except we filmmakers and a few people who understand maybe, the technicalities in movies. But the storytelling will keep you there. The storytelling is what made us love Checkmates. Storytelling is what made us love Zebrodaya, New Masquerade. Storytelling is what made us love Things Fall Apart. Storytelling is what made us love Palace and all the series we had back then. It wasn't the picture quality at the time. It has never been. It's the story that keeps you, wanting for more. Why do we want to see Blood Sister season 2? Because we need to do a follow-up on why Kate Henshaw was kissing her son, on the lips. We need to understand what Zakoji's presence meant. We need to understand if they would eventually do anything to any of the girls that killed her son. It's a story. It's not the picture. It wasn't the camera movements we're interested in. It's the story.
Now, another thing that I really find very fascinating about the Nigerian film industry is that it has become a force to reckon with among many diaspora. We are talking of Africans in the diaspora in Brazil, up to 100 million Africans there, in
Yeah.
America, in Britain, in Canada.
Mm-hmm.
Many of them would never probably heard of this culture that are being portrayed, but yet, I was talking to uh, a Kenya copywriter a couple of days ago. I was interviewing her. I was asking her something about Nigeria, and she told me that she basically copying how things are happening in Nigeria. This is the power of storytelling. She
Mm-hmm.
have never been to Nigeria, no.
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm seeing, what I'm beginning to see here is that there is a huge power here that the people have managed to find. I mean, the Nigerian storyteller, the Nigerian filmmaker in this case. Tell me, I want to understand more about this power. How did it start?
You know what they say about pictures. Pictures tell a lot of stories, and when you introduce motion pictures, that's what we call film. That's what we call film. If you introduce motion pictures, it can be compelling. So it depends on what you want to say. It can be compelling, it can be comic, it can be tragic. But when you bring out motion pictures and then back it up with a good story, you find people who can relate more to these stories you're saying. So a lot of times when you make compelling stories, that's why you see people in the cinemas crying. Not because they're emotionally drawn to that particular story, but probably it's taking them back to either things they have gone through or things they know people have gone through, or just emotionally inclined to the story. Do you understand? So storytelling is one thing, but when you back it up with pictures, when I mean pictures, I mean motion pictures, it sends a different kind of what's it called? A different kind of feeling, to whoever it is that is watching. I did documentaries a while ago for Chino Achebe, for late Dora's parents, for PN Okeke, and for someone else who probably doesn't have, that figure out there. But I could tell you that sometimes when I was, rehearsing for this, I had tears in my eyes because they were all compelling write-ups. These are stories of real people that I was delivering, and they were backed up with pictures, they were backed up with memories, and it made a lot of sense to me, the narrator. So I can imagine how people who listened and watched felt about it. I mean, when I did that of the late Dora Akunyili's parents, and it was played for her, it was tears all through, and immediately afterwards, she came to me and she hugged me for a few minutes, and it just made sense to me that be intentional about things you do. Narrating is not just a child's play. Narrating is not about reading books. It's understanding the emotions and the feelings that go with it. And then when it's backed up with good pictures, when it's backed up with good memories, when I say memories, it could mean that we're going back to maybe we're narrating a story of, let's say we're narrating a story of Obehi, right? And then we have a script that says Obehi started in a school in, let's say, Edo State, Uromi, for instance, and we go to Uromi, to your primary school, and I'm narrating the story. I'm taking them back to how you started in primary school, then to secondary school. I'm giving them your journey throughout your life at a certain age. You know, it might be a celebration of life, but there could be compelling stories there. And then taking people back to the memories of where you have been, will hit differently. I think that's the right word to use. It would hit differently.